So for those of you who bought a used lowrider or a second-hand lowrider and you want to do a similar type of work, front ram's really straightforward. What you need to do is lift the car up, put it on axle stands, and then get a trolley jack underneath the bottom arm, and then while somebody's holding the dump on the switch, jack it up all the way so the fluid is returned back to the tank. That way when you take the hose off from the top, you will end up with all your oil leaking out. Just get that off. Oh, it is a bit of oil coming out. It's not under pressure. And then this, but hopefully, depending on how long the coil is, the ram might just drop out. There's the coil. And the ram will slide through the frame. There it is. So there's your front cylinder assembly. As you can see, that is, them seals aren't up to, oh no, that's just the top hat's loose. That's another thing you tend to find over time. These top hats do tend to come loose, and so do these collars here. Look, see how that collar's spinning? So it's always a good idea, even if your rams aren't leaking, it's always a good idea to strip your front cylinders apart, check your O-rings, make sure these are tight, maybe put a bit of thread lock on, the same with these bottoms, but at least that'll make it easier to strip apart when it comes to it. Okay, so I've just started to pull this other front ram out, and you can see the top hat that's supposed to be attached to the end of the ram is no longer attached to it. Like, the ram's coming out, and the top hat's still attached. So what's happened here is, as I mentioned earlier, the bolt that holds the top hat is gone. Now, whether it's sat, no, it's gone. It's gone big time. It's gone. His donut's a bit bent. So that's no good. We'll just get this out. You see that the bolt that holds the top hat has gone. And what that causes is end play in your cylinder, and when you get end play, you damage the inside of the cylinder, and then it ends up leaking. So we need to find, luckily the threads inside there, I don't know if you can catch that, so the threads inside the end of the ram are in good condition. So it's only a case of replacing the bolt. I don't know if I've brought any with me today, I hope I have. But I know I've got some back at the workshop. It's not the end of the world because I can post some down to it. But yeah, that's probably why that ram's leaking on that side. We'll strip it apart and find out. Okay, so we've got these front rams out. Everything's loose, which is bad. No, it's not the end of the world really. It just makes it easy for us to take them apart. You see, this one's got a really big thick donut, whereas this one's got like a standard donut. I don't understand why. Ideally, he wants to get another one of these from somewhere, but obviously it's a supply issue, so we'll speak to Rob when he gets back. But for now, let's get these cylinders apart. That's a good ram, it's triple seal. It should be fairly easy to, that's another thing that comes loose, look. I see that of what looks like might have also happened on these cylinders. I'm not sure. You see that top one's got a spacer, so it's got an O-ring and then a spacer, and then this has just got an O-ring, and this has got an O-ring and a spacer. It looks like there might be a spacer missing out of that O-ring there. There's a couple of issues.
Oh, this is
one. I do actually have some more heavy duty ones of those things.
That's on one side. That's the one on the good side that wasn't leaking.
That's what happens when you have a car as heavy as that with hardware that's not capable of taking it.
It's a totally different thickness though, isn't it?
Oh,
as
and
well?
the top hat wasn't connected either.
Yeah, and on the bad side, that was the donut, and the bolt for the top hat is gone.
Wasn't there.
How was it even still together?
Just by
It wasn't.
pure luck, to be honest. When we filmed it, when we lifted the ram,
Thoughts
the
and
top hat
prayers.
didn't come with it.
But you may have pressed the ram a bit too hard.
But these are good rams though.
The taxi did it.
Yep.
But that's probably why that one was leaking, because you probably got loads of end play in it when it's been going up and down and driving. So I would imagine that the O-rings.
What's your opinion on this?
I haven't got this one apart yet, but I mean they're alright, just new O-rings. I mean that's on the one that isn't leaking.
Right.
So currently we need one of them and one of these big fat fucking donuts.
Well, here's one I prepared earlier. Give me a second.
So let's just have a quick status update. So I was just chilling in the car. Rob's going to get some O-rings because we stripped these rams apart. And I don't know if you can see, I don't know if this front facing camera will focus on it, but the O-rings, although they're not the worst condition, have just started to get a bit square. Can I get that in there? Will it do it? No. So we want to change these O-rings. The cylinders don't look too bad. Again, you probably can't see in there. The cylinders look alright. Probably still got a little bit of life in them. But them O-rings need replacing. They're an easy change. Just with a screwdriver or a pair of pliers. Just pull those bad boys off. These spacers look a bit worn, but again, it shouldn't be too much of a problem. You still get a bit more use out of them. But the O-rings that I've brought with me don't appear to be the right size. They're a bit too skinny and they feel a bit slack inside the cylinder. So Rob's gone to a local hydraulics place to try and locate some cylinders. The other thing we were missing is one of these bolts for the front rams. We've got some at home, so we won't finish today. We'll get these rams reassembled, ready to go back on the car, and then I'll post one of these up to Rob in the week, or a pair of them. So that's the front rams. Oh, Rob's managed to find a great big chunky donut to replace the Pringle donut off that front left hand corner that was leaking. So we've moved on to the rear rams, and these have got some crazy Powerball that I've never seen before. Some of you guys might have seen it. I don't know whether I can get the angle, or whether it's going to be too dark to see it. Oh, there it is. So instead of the normal style Powerball, it got so there isn't a collar. Where's my finger? There isn't a collar on it. You don't undo the top part and it all falls apart. You might be able to unscrew this bit here, which is sat on the top of the ram part, but I've had a clean up and noticed inside here, inside the top of it, is a great big circlip. So Rob's going to locate some circlip pliers, and we're going to undo that, and hopefully a whole lot will come out the top, and then we can check to see if this is a method for taking the ram off this Powerball. And then we're going to take these cylinders apart, check the interior condition, check the O-rings, change them if need to. Hopefully these will go back together and you can get the back end working fine. So we've managed to get the rams, the cylinders out of these Powerballs. If everybody's seen anything like these before, let us know in the comments. But they have like retaining spaces that sit over the top of the ball part, and then a circlip that goes over the top. So I've never seen anything like it before. And then the actual part of that's the ball. It's like a doorknob, and that looks retrofitted, or the thread's been cut down anyway, which goes on the end of the ram. Never seen anything like it. And then of course those two spacers sit inside a lip there, and then with the retaining circlip over the top of that. So if you've seen anything like that before, Let us know in the comments.